My name is Emily. I grew up in a small town. When I was little, my family was happy. I had my mother, father, and big brother Jake. Jake was 5 years older than me. When I was very young, Jake was my best friend. He played with me, taught me to ride a bike, and helped me when I was scared. I loved him very much. My parents worked hard to give us a good life. They smiled a lot, and our house was full of laughter and love. But when I was 8, everything changed. My father got very sick. He went to the hospital many times. My mother cried every day. Jake tried to be strong, but he was sad too. One day, my father died. I was young and did not understand death well. I only knew that my heart was broken. Our house became quiet and cold. My mother stopped smiling. Jake stopped being the brother I loved. At first, Jake said he wanted to protect me. He told me the world was dangerous, and I must listen to him. I was small, and I believed him. But soon, his protection became control. He watched everything I did. If I wanted to play outside, he said no. If I wanted to wear pretty clothes, he said no. If I talked to boys or even girls, he said it was dangerous. He told me to stay home and be quiet. I was scared and confused. I didn't understand why Jake changed so much. I missed my old life. I missed being free. At school, I smiled and played with friends, but inside I was sad. I wanted to tell someone, but I was afraid. I thought if I told, Jake would be angry or worse. So I kept quiet. Sometimes I cried alone in my room. I felt like a bird trapped in a small cage. I started writing a diary. It was my secret place where I could say everything. I wrote about my dreams to be free. I wrote that I wanted to live my own life, choose my own friends, wear what I wanted, and be happy. Writing made me feel better. It was the only place I felt safe. But I hid the diary well because I was afraid Jake would find it. One day, Jake found my diary. He read all my secrets, my dreams, my feelings. He was very angry. He shouted and took the diary away. I cried all night. After that, I stopped writing. Jake watched me more closely. He checked my phone messages. If I talked to a boy, he got angry. I told him I only wanted friends, but he did not listen. I stopped calling friends. I stopped going outside. My world became small and lonely. At school, I met a girl named Sarah. Sarah was kind and smiled a lot. She listened to me without judging. She told me I was strong and could be free if I wanted. Sarah gave me hope. She helped me believe in myself again. I told her some of my story, but only a little. I was still afraid. With Sarah's help, I started saving money. I worked at a shop, a cafe, and sometimes cleaned houses. I dreamed of going to college in a big city. I wanted to live my own life. When I told Jake, he was angry. My mother agreed with Jake. They said the city was dangerous for a girl like me. I felt alone, but I didn't give up. I knew I had to try. At 16, I found a book in the library about brave girls who changed their lives. I read it many times. It gave me courage. I knew I had to find my own way. At 17, I applied to a college far away. Jake and my mother were upset. They shouted and cried. I was scared but strong. I knew this was my chance. On my 18th birthday, I packed my bags quietly. I wrote a letter to Jake and my mother. I told them I loved them but needed to live my life. I left home at midnight. I took a bus to the city. I did not look back. The city was big and noisy. I found a small apartment alone. I worked at a cafe during the day and studied at night. I made new friends from many places. I smiled and laughed for the first time in years. I was free. Life in the city was hard. Sometimes I felt lonely. I missed my family and home. Sometimes I cried in my room. But I was strong. I worked hard. I studied many hours. I learned new things. I met people from all over the world. I was proud of myself. One day, I walked in the park. I saw children playing and laughing. I remembered my childhood with Jake. I felt sad but strong. I knew I had made the right choice. Jake called sometimes. He said he missed me. I wanted to forgive him but was scared. I told him I was okay and happy. He didn't say much after that. After 3 years, I graduated. I found a better job. I had new dreams to travel and help girls trapped like me. One summer, I returned home. I wanted to see my family. Jake looked tired and different. He said he was sorry for being mean. I forgave him but told him I needed my own life. I told him I was not the little girl anymore. Now, I help girls who feel trapped. I tell them they are strong and can be free. I tell them to believe in themselves. I am Emily. I was a bird in a cage. Now I am free and I fly high. I hope my story helps others find their wings. But this is not all. I want to tell you more about what happened next. When I first came to the city, everything was new. I had to learn how to live alone. I didn't know how to cook well. Sometimes I bought too much food and it went bad. Sometimes I missed my mother's cooking. I learned little by little. I watched videos on how to cook simple meals. I cleaned my small apartment by myself. I paid bills and learned to manage money. It was hard but I felt proud. At college, the first weeks were scary. I didn't know anyone. Some students talked fast, and I didn't understand all the words. I felt shy and sometimes lonely. But I kept going. I joined a study group. I met Sarah there. She was friendly and helped me a lot. She explained hard words and helped me with homework. We became best friends. Sarah had a big family and many friends. She invited me to her home sometimes. I met her brothers and sisters. They were kind and made me feel welcome. I learned about different cultures and food. I tried new things and felt happy. One day, Sarah told me about a youth group that helped girls like us who had difficult families. She said it was safe and free. I was nervous but decided to go. There, I met other girls who had problems like mine. They listened to my story. They shared their stories too. I felt I was not alone. I felt understood. We supported each other. We laughed and cried together. The youth group helped me find confidence. They taught me how to say no when someone controlled me. They taught me how to ask for help. They told me I had the right to be free and happy. It was the first time I believed it. I worked hard to save money. I cleaned houses, worked at cafes, and sometimes babysat. I bought books and study materials with my money. I paid for my college fees and rent. I was tired but proud. I was building my future. In my second year at college, I met a boy named Daniel. He was kind and gentle. We studied together.